Stop excessively scripting, stop excessively visualizing. This is the part of manifestation where way too little people talk about, which is getting into alignment with your desire. I always say manifestation is about frequency. It is about aligning your frequency, your emotions with that of your desire. And this scripting and this visualizing is just a small part of it. It is about giving birth to that frequency. People get stuck here and they keep scripting and visualizing and they're not getting any results. It's because your frequency is not of the frequency of your desire. And you first need to learn how to get yourself into that frequency, into alignment. Watch this video until the end because I'm gonna give you a very comprehensive step-by-step guide of how you can get your frequency into alignment with that of your desire. My name is Davy. I am a PhD student in chemical engineering at the University of Cambridge. Currently, I'm working remotely and I'm staying in Bali and I'm doing the spiritually awakening process. And way too many people get stuck on the manifestation, visualization, and scripting techniques, not understanding that we are needing to get our frequency, our feelings, our emotions into the frequency of our dream life. This takes more than just scripting and visualizing. This takes getting yourself into alignment. This is a full, complete identity shifting process. Now also note that if you need my personal guidance on actually doing this in a trajectory of 5 weeks where I help you identity shift, we launched an identity shifting program. Link is in the description if you want to find out more about that. But in this video, I'll give you a brief insight of the steps that you need to walk through in order to get into alignment with your desire. Let's walk to the 5 stages of getting into alignment with your desire. The first stage is about building confidence. If we are in a very non-confident state where we don't believe in ourselves, it is very hard to call in our desires. Literally, our frequency is of a very low, depressed, non-confident one. How are we able to call in our desires when we actually don't believe in ourselves? So the first stage in getting into alignment is building on that confidence. And there are some very practical things that we can do in order to work on our confidence. And the first and foremost is nutrition and exercise. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this with respect to manifestation, but do you know how important it is that what you put into your body is literally the chemicals that are going on in your brain, is the way you feel to a large extent, is the way your gut functions, which all directly impacts your frequency. So I dare to say that nutrition could literally be the thing that you're missing out on in order to get to your dream life, in order to get to manifesting your desires. I'm not gonna get into a whole rant about how a lot of people are addicted to food and use it to numb their emotions. But all I want to highlight here is in order to change your nutritional pattern, it is really about changing the way you view food. Seeing it as a thing to nurture and love yourself. So I'm not telling you to go on a strict diet, which is again a form of self-hatred. I'm telling you to start to view nutrition as a manifestation tool to fuel your frequency, your body, your brain, in order to get to a higher vibration, in order to get into alignment with your desire. So what am I talking about? Enough nutrients, enough proteins, enough unsaturated fats, enough vitamins, enough fruits. What if from now on, if you start to eat 5 fruits a day and more than 200 grams of vegetables, you are gonna get into alignment with your desire? What if, I'm just giving a crazy example, maybe the fact that you're eating so much junk food and low vibrational food is what is keeping you stuck in this lower vibration. Now, the same with exercise. We all know how confident we can feel after a workout. And this confidence you can use in order to get into alignment with your desires, with your dream lives. It is literally like, these are very practical shortcuts that I'm giving you here. And I know I'm stating the obvious, but these are actually very, very important manifestation tools that you can use in order to increase your frequency, because all we care about in manifestation. I have more videos on confidence, but other tools that you can use is speaking to yourself in a mirror. Doing self-love practices where you actually in the morning spend some time telling yourself some positive affirmations, like giving yourself compliments. Maybe when you lotion your whole body or when you wash yourself in a shower, make it intentional thing where you tell yourself positive things while you do that, because we actually carry a frequency, especially in our physical touch. And when we tell ourselves positive things when we touch ourselves, this can really increase our vibration. It will also eventually affect the way you look, right? If you work on your nutrition and exercise for long enough, and your confidence will skyrocket. A lot of our trauma is stored in our fat tissue, actually. Let's get to stage 2. Now we need to do some reprogramming of the mind. Again, I'm helping you through this in my identity shifting course. Link is in the description. But some practical things that you can start to do to reprogram your mind. 2 things, and these are so important, and I don't know why not everyone is doing it. It's literally so important. 1, affirmations. We need to introduce new thoughts into our brain repetitively. And when we do this repetition, this will store in our subconscious brain, and eventually our frequency can adjust to that. So listening to affirmation tracks on a daily basis, in my identity shifting course, I have recorded the affirmation tracks for you as well, is so important to get ourselves to different ways of thinking. This actually also contributes to our confidence, but this is so important to get to a higher vibration. Now, if you have specific affirmations related to your desire, listen to those types of affirmation tracks. So important. Second thing is meditation. A lot of people skip out on meditation, and I have for the longest as well. But let me tell you a secret here. All this manifestation and everything, it is just about the way you feel. It is about the emotions that you're carrying with you. And we are not even aware at any point in the day what we're actually feeling. We're always distracted. We're in company of others. We're on our phone. We're watching Netflix. We're eating. We're always doing things to distract ourselves. We are never feeling. So you think you want this desire and you think you're getting into alignment of your desires, but your frequency, your emotions are actually on a very different field. But we're not feeling that, we're not acknowledging that. So we're using meditation to truly tune into our internal world, to feel and to see what frequencies are we currently emitting. Start with 20 minutes of meditation a day, maybe 15 if this is hard for you. I personally do 2 hours of meditation a day currently, but I know this is actually hard for people. Do it in a lotus position where your spine is straight. Maybe start with 15 or 20 minutes. Put on some neutral frequency music and just start to focus on your breathing and see what comes up. Feel. Put your awareness in your chakras or put your awareness just in your heart. See what you feel. Really see what you feel. And you can even use meditation as a visualization exercise. I'll talk about that later. But the most important thing that I want you to use meditation for is to really get an understanding of the frequencies that you're currently carrying with you. There's so much trauma stored in us, so much subconscious emotions. Now, in my identity shifting course, I have a lot of guided meditations where I can help you release these traumas as well and really work on the subconscious mind to delve deeper. So again, link is in the description if you need my help in this. 3rd stage, learning to feel our emotions and stop distracting ourselves, which is cutting out any active forms of pleasure. So what can these be? These can be food, these can be going to parties, these can be alcohol, these can be porn. Our phone should be on this list as well. Using a relationship or other people to distract ourselves. Now, I'm not saying you need to cut all of this out in order to manifest your desires. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I want your awareness on the fact that we use these things to distract ourselves from our emotions. And every time we do that, we are not acknowledging what we are actually feeling, and we're not actually aware of the frequency that we're emitting. We are using all these forms of pleasure in order to distract ourselves from our emotions, from our frequency. Every time we do that, we are manifesting as well. We are manifesting, we are suppressing an emotion, and an emotion will carry with us, will stay with us, a lower vibrational emotion, a sadness, a fear, and that is just still in our field manifesting. And we can never get to our desires, never get to higher levels, because we just keep suppressing our low vibrational emotions and keep carrying it with us as a little noise on our manifesting radio. And being aware of this, and why I want to highlight this, is not because I expect anyone to fully cut out everything in one go, which actually you should, and I have, but to become aware that we use these tools to distract ourselves from our feelings. And every time we do that, we are moving away from our desired reality, literally. So whenever you notice yourself do that and seeking pleasure to distract yourself, instead go within and sit with the emotion and feel it. Do you want food because you want to distract yourself from the way you feel? And we all do this. I've done this for so long. Already in the morning thinking about what I'm gonna have for dinner, just because food was a form to distract myself. So cut out the pleasure and just feel and let the emotion come out. Because when you release it, it is no longer part of your permanent vibration. It can no longer interfere with our desires and the things that we're trying to manifest. Now, fourth stage, now we're actually getting to the manifestation techniques, the visualizing and scripting. And I want you to understand what the visualizing and the scripting is used for. It is used to give birth to the frequency of your desired reality. As soon as you got to the feeling of what it feels like to be there, you, in theory, have scripted and visualized enough, right? So people that ask me, should I do it every day? Should I do it every day? I feel like you can keep practicing with it until you reach a point where you tapped into the frequency, and that's when you have your perfect script, or that's when you have your perfect visualization scene. And that's it. At that point, you can stop and release it and let it go to the universe, because at that point, you've given birth to the frequency. So you've tapped into that reality, and that reality will eventually align to you in the fifth stage that I'll talk about later. A lot of people are still practicing, are still in the practicing stage. They're scripting, and are not actually feeling emotions. Really alternate between visualizing and scripting. So when you do scripting, make sure that you pause in between to actually visualize and feel if you're actually tapping into the emotions. And the way we script and visualize is always as if it has already happened, as if it is already here, as if you are living the reality where you have your desires. And it really takes playing around with different scenes and scenarios. I have more detail about visualizing and scripting in this video. But it really takes playing around with scenes and scenarios to get to the feeling. So let's say I'm trying to manifest money. I have to go through different scenarios. Does it require me visualizing that I'm in a store and I have enough money to pay for? Does it take me faking a screenshot of my bank account, changing the numbers? Does that work? Try out different things to get into the frequency, to get into the feeling. Does it require me thinking about how the money is coming in, visualizing an email where I receive the money? What does it take? It doesn't really matter what we visualize or script about. It is trying out different things until we have a sort of feeling of excitement, like, oh my God, is that gonna happen? And it can still feel a little bit surreal, because I never, 80% of you might be convinced this is gonna happen. There's always gonna be a skeptical 20% in your brain, as long as it's the majority that is convinced. But as soon as you get into oh my God, is that really gonna happen? Oh my God, is that me? As soon as you get into a feeling of excitement, you've given birth to the frequency of that reality. And again, don't skip the first 3 stages, because you first really need to work on your confidence, reprogramming the mind, cutting out distractions and feeling your emotions in order to be successfully able to give birth to this frequency. Because if we're too low vibe, we can't even give birth to this high vibrational frequency. And the 5th and final stage, I want to call the identity shifting, which is where we fully align with our desires. Now, we've given birth to our frequency. We know what it feels like to have our desires. We've reached the feeling during a visualization or during a scripting exercise, right? Now it is about carrying that frequency into our daily life. And this is about walking around as if we already have the desire, reminding ourselves of that identity. What does it feel like to now, for me, sit in front of the camera now that I've manifested this? What does it feel like for me to go to the supermarket, do this mundane task, do this now that I've manifested the desire? Really try to bring that frequency of your scripting and visualizing into your daily life. What does it feel like to drink this coffee? What does it feel like to do all of these things now that I've manifested the desire? And I forget this a lot of time as well. As long as we're craving and desiring and thinking, oh, when is my desire coming here? We're just saying to the universe, we're just pushing it away and saying to the universe, I'm in lack, so give me more lack. I don't have my desire, so give me more of not having my desire. So we really need to, in our daily life, constantly remind ourselves, it has already happened. Delusion. It has already happened. It is already here. It is already mine. In an alternate reality, there is a reality where I have it. I know that is true because I felt it. I felt it during my visualizing and my scripting. So I know there is a reality where I have it. This is how the world works. We live in multiple realities. And if we tapped into a feeling of having our desires, there is a reality where we already have it. So it is just about being fully surrendered and patient and detached in a way as well. I know that reality exists, so I'm not gonna bother too much. However, I am going to walk around in my day and pretend it has already happened because I know there is a reality of me where I already have it. Right? So I don't have to worry. You see how this feeling that I'm trying to give you right now, the frequency through this video, I'm trying to give to you, it's a very detached frequency. It is a very like, I know it will happen. Of course that reality exists. If my visualization and scripting felt like it was there, it's gonna be here at some point. I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know whatever, but it will be mine eventually. And I'm just walking around like it is already mine. I'm walking around like a millionaire. I'm walking around like I met the love of my life. I'm walking around in delusion because that is going to get the desire to me quicker. That is going to get me into alignment with my desire. But I don't worry. I'm detached. I don't care when, I don't care how, it will be mine. You need my help on this very complicated, and I tried to put it in one video, but very complicated identity shifting cycle. I am helping you through it step by step in a 5-week identity shifting program. Now, in each week, we work through different things. In the first week, I'm teaching you how to reprogram your mind and switch thought frequencies. In the second week, we work on the self-concept. In the third week, we learn how to release trauma and old vibrational emotions that are carrying with us. I'm using very specific guided meditations to do so, reprogramming the mind. In the fourth week, I'm teaching the exact scripting and visualization technique so that in the fifth week, we can actually make the identity shift and step into the highest version of ourselves, step into our highest timeline. And I'm really guiding you through this process so that in 5 weeks, which is the scientifically proven time to reprogram your mind and actually make changes that can last, form habits, I can help you do so. Link is in the description if you want to find out more about that. Really appreciate you for listening to me. If you like this video, leave me a like, subscribe to my channel. That really helps. Leave a comment, let me know how maybe some things that I missed out on. But I have a lot of other videos where I maybe touch on other things. But I love you. I would love to see you in my next video. I send you all my love.